Welcome to the Pledge Training Podcast. This is a very special edition. We just did the hardest race of our entire lives.
No disrespect to anybody that did World's Toughest Mudder last weekend or anything.
Fair enough.
But definitely the toughest race of our lives.
Of my life, yes.
I kind of hope not to do it again in these conditions. Yeah.
So, I did pass a very fit-looking young man who said, God, I'm just going to go back to marathons. This is horrible.
I am not a road racer by any means. I hate distance.
Yeah. And
I hate street running. I get so bored doing it. But after today, I'm like, no, marathons would probably be cool.
Right?
I would do a marathon now.
I just realized, guys, this is more informal since we just got our butts kicked out on the course. But I forgot to introduce my guests. So, Jessica, tell them who you are, what you do, and your Spartan love.
My name is Jessica. I'm actually a veterinary nurse by trade, but I found Spartan racing and got very serious about my fitness a couple of years ago. It started out as a way to actually exercise my dogs. I work with aggression cases and mastiffs, so I have large dogs with lots of energy. So I started running and getting fit, and so I started doing obstacle course racing, which has led me to this poor decision.
Yes.
That is today.
After poor decision, after poor decision.
Yeah, they just kept on coming.
So for those of y'all out there who are curious about Spartan races and want to get into that avenue, so first off, I think that Spartan does a wonderful job of creating a great test of fitness. Psychological endurance paired with strength.
I would agree with that.
100%. So I really, really encourage y'all to pursue that, to train for it, and to sign up for a race that has better weather conditions than this one.
Yeah, I try to drag everyone I come in contact with to a Spartan race. Yeah.
Successfully, though.
Good thing you'd already started.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, no, I've gotten several people to try their first Spartan race. Either with me or because I've encouraged it, which makes me feel good. But I do love Spartan races, and I'm definitely going to continue doing them, but I do also strongly recommend researching venues.
Yes.
/ locations. Like today, that's the whole thing.
Makes a massive difference.
Yes, like today at the Tryon Equestrian Center, it's a new venue. So there's never been a Spartan.
Unprecedented.
There's never been any kind of OCR at this location. So we weren't really sure what to expect, but I really should have taken average weather for this area more seriously.
Yeah.
And if you're going to your first race, this is definitely something you need to think about more seriously. This is not a joke.
Yeah, and figure out what you're training in, like the type of weather you're training in, even the type of athlete that you are, and plan for success there. Like, this is the worst possible race conditions that I could have picked for myself. So it's cold, and I do horrible in the cold. I'm the first person to fall out from hypothermia and literally just start shivering and unable to control my muscles. So I know that about myself, and I still signed up because I wanted to race with Jessica.
But in all honesty, if she's the first person, I'm usually the second person.
Fact.
So we just got too excited to turn this opportunity down, and we paid for that today.
Heavily.
We did finish. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, we paid heavily in, I bought a ton of merchandise after. Okay, so I was sopping wet and shivering, and my lips were blue. And I think like Spartan was spot on. Like they got $300 extra for me because I bought like 3 hoodies and I put them all on at once. And I bought 2 layers of pants and like tall socks. Anyways, so I'm like geared up.
So the walking Spartan billboard in Charleston is
is about to come through.
Actually, this one right here.
Okay, so I feel like we should actually get into the race now. Just so we can...
Since everybody's been well primed.
Right, so we can prepare someone to go into their Spartan race and have an idea of what the obstacles are going to be like, what the terrain's going to be like. So let's just walk through this course from wake up, go to course site, through the obstacles, through the finish. Like the emotional roller coaster that was today.
I wouldn't even say it was a roller coaster. Like, I started out pretty good and it just went down. And it stayed there.
That's fair. There's
until we got all the way back. And I was down. I was like, I have made some poor decisions.
And slide.
College was nothing. Like, what have I done?
True. Prepare to, well, it depends on your heat. So Spartan is different. You can sign up for a certain time. You can do elite, age group, or open. So open waves are going to be later in the day, possibly warmer, but it will be really muddy and slick.
Everybody's going to have worn down the course before you.
Right.
Obstacles are going to be wet and muddy, even on a good day, usually. And you have a lot of people, if it's your first time, this is definitely where you want to start.
Yeah.
But if you are, you just need to keep in mind that there are a lot of people that are probably out there walking the course. So you're going to get a lot more bottlenecking in single track areas. You're going to get a lot of hold up at obstacles and stuff as people are trying it out for their first time and all.
Right.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
I ran open today, for the record. Like, I definitely ran the open beast, and I did the morning. So I had one of the first open heats.
Right.
So some of that was cut short. Like, some of those cons were minimized, but I still had the benefit, thankfully, of being able to accept some assistance on obstacles.
Yeah. And
we'll get into this later, but I definitely would not have finished this race without assistance.
Yeah. So, as she alluded to, it was absolutely treacherous was the adjective that came up in my mind. Yeah, just like again and again, people said, "How was the race?" Treacherous.
That's a good one.
Like, we survived, but it was very dangerous, and it was close. Like, I could have tapped out a couple times there.
Oh, yeah. No, if there had just been a medical cart at I'm thinking of a particular hill, I would have been like, "Excuse me, I will accept my did not finish right now. Please wheel me back.
Yeah.
By my legs if you must, but I cannot go on."
You were already said you were seeing, like, the DNF feed, like, people posting?
Yeah, several people on the Spartan Facebook forums. Like, there are several that I'm a part of, but several people just on those so far have posted that they DNF'd today related to the treacherous conditions.
Yeah. Was it mostly cold, rolled ankles, like muscle problems, knees, hips?
The number one thing I'm seeing is the cold.
Yeah.
Which, of course, leads to muscle cramps.
Right.
It leads to more injuries, but people are saying the cold.
Yeah.
It was freezing today, and I'm a southern girl anyway, but it was freezing. It rained almost 100% of this race.
Yeah,
I don't know, because
absolutely.
I know you ran the elite heat, so you ran earlier.
Yeah, it was light to heavy to light to heavy to light to heavy rain.
Pretty much the entire thing. I think there might have been a mile and a half where it was a light mist.
Right.
But it was otherwise raining. So within 10 minutes of being on the course, we're soaked all the way through.
Yeah.
So it's cold.
100%.
Because it's only in the 50s, and somebody nearby, multiple people on the course were tracking on their fitness watches and things like that. The temperature dropped a minimum of 12 degrees from the beginning of the race through as the cold front came in with the rain.
Right.
So mid to low 50s down to maybe the high 40s.
Yeah.
Soaking wet 100% of the time.
That makes so much sense, because I felt like after I was like, I would run faster to try to warm up. Like that was great. Like, it gave me a really good start to my race, midsection, And then the cold front started coming in, and there was a lot more water involved. Like, we had to walk through some water. There was just a lot more water obstacles. So all that heat that I had built up around me in my wet clothes immediately became the temperature of the water. And my muscles just stopped working optimally, we'll say.
Zapped instantly.
Yeah.
And I could feel it. Like I was saying, we were talking about this earlier, like the barbed wire crawl. There was one part where I landed in a mud puddle and my body sank, so my entire torso was soaked instantly, and I just felt that wave of cold radiate through my whole body. Like, my life force is in a puddle.
Yes.
In the Tryon Equestrian Center right now. Like,
we're not going back for it.
No, it can stay. The rest of what I need is in this lovely bottle of wine.
By the way, so in case you're wondering, this is a dry red, and
this lovely Robert Mondavi Cabernet.
And this is Bullet Bourbon, which is my favorite right now.
That's a good one.
Absolutely. So it is lower sugar drinks if you are going to drink and you care about your waistline. Not that you can't have cheats and live your life and love things.
Because we earned it today.
We did earn it today.
But it's not like, I don't know. There's less guilt about this.
I agree. I feel no shame.
Less of a hangover.
Yeah.
Lower sugar. Less hangover.
Yeah, for sure. So, but anyways, I get sidetracked. Sorry, guys. I'm going to get better at that as these podcasts go on. But, so we woke up in the morning. I got up at 4:45, and there was no coffee in the B&B, which gave me eternal sadness. And then...
Lame. 4 stars.
4 stars immediately. But I set out my outfits, and I would walk outside in them and check the temperature and be like, okay, this is perfect, not knowing the cold front was going to come in. So I laid everything out perfectly, planned it, and then they are nice enough to wake up super early and drive me to the race site because they don't have to be there for like another 2 hours.
Well, you know, what's 2 hours?
It's 2 hours.
She woke up at 4:45. I woke up at, 5:40? 5:42-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe then I snoozed. And I got up and immediately just stepped into clothes and was like, sure, let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready. To be fair, all of my stuff has been laid out for about 24 hours and it was packed in a bag. So I knew I could change in the car.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was going to do that.
Right.
Is why it was all packed in my bag. So
Perfect. So you were prepared.
Prepared the day before. Because, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that's...
I'm not a morning person.
Another key is know yourself, how long it takes for you to wake up, and definitely have your clothes laid out. Like, I had clothes options laid out so that I could decide, going outside, coming back in, what I was going to wear, and then the bag that I was going to put it in. So have that all planned out because you're going to be frazzled and crazy, especially if you wake up late and you're worried about getting there in time, parking, walking up, registering, getting all your chips on.
You don't want to forget something.
No.
That's the last thing you want to be worried about the morning of.
Yeah.
And Spartan, I've always had really good experiences with getting to venues and getting through registration and all. I've never waited like an unreasonable amount of time.
No, I haven't either.
However, at some venues, there is a significant distance between parking and registration. I think
that's true.
In Atlanta, I think I almost walked, I'm pretty sure it was a mile.
Yeah.
From my very reasonable parking area to the festival area. So you've got to think about that in the morning. When they say be there an hour and a half before your start time,
yeah,
you need to be there.
They actually mean it.
Yeah, be there early so that you can get prepared. Because it doesn't take a ton of time to put on your wristband and stuff. But
you also check your bag.
Yeah, do you want to be there, like, throwing things on and, like, throwing things in your bag and whatever?
Right.
Oh, I forgot. Well, where are my socks?
Exactly.
No.
Oh, gosh. No socks would have... I feel like my feet would have bled.
Oh, my feet would have just fallen off.
Yeah.
There's no bleeding. Like,
yeah,
because
it'd be all, like, wet and soppy, and then, the skin gets, like, easier to cut through. Anyways, just wanted to give y'all that visual. But, yeah, so anyways, finally I got there. We're about to start. So I did the elite heat. I think that the weather scared a bunch of girls off. Because there was only maybe 20 people or so. Yeah, it was a pretty low number. Yeah.
And it seemed like
there's supposed to be more.
I felt like I saw a lot of red headbands.
They were another elite wave. They might have been elite ultra.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I saw a lot of red headbands too. They were not in the pin with me, so they were not.
They were not there. They did not show up.
Exactly. They might have abandoned it in the course. They're like, hey guys, I'm here. Yeah.
Which I don't want to applaud mediocrity, but also today was one of those days where like
DNF.
If you DNF, there's no shame in that today.
No, absolutely not.
There's not. Today was bad.
Today was treacherous.
Treacherous. Treacherous. Which, speaking of the weather and the course.
Yes.
First off, you rounded a corner. It may have been, 100 yards?
Yeah.
Straight downhill.
Are you talking about at the beginning?
Yeah, at the very beginning.
Okay, so first off, they lied to us. Our medals say 13 miles, and it was 15 miles, and there was even a 15-mile marker just to, like
there's a 15-mile marker that you had to pass, by the way.
Oh, so
you passed the 15-mile marker. There was one.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, it was 15 miles when you were back there.
Psych!
Good job. Great job
Congrats! You did more than you thought you could. You're welcome. Bonus miles, because we love you. You paid the same amount. Might as well get 2 more miles. Or 3 more. Or 4.
Thanks for being here today.
Yeah.
Here's a gift that you never wanted.
That you never wanted.
Yeah, because at mile 12, 13, when you're like, I'm done. But you don't hear the festival area, you're like, I'm in so much trouble. You ever seen that meme? The Simpsons meme? And it's like, I'm in danger.
No.
That's me on the back of a course with no festival in sight.
But we will post that picture in the notes for this podcast.
There you go.
But anyways, so I started off, and we'll go like elite heat first. And the girls all sprint off like we all do. Way too fast. Like, nobody keeps that pace.
All for show, for the cameras at the start line. You're like, I'm going, ready.
Right. And then, perhaps there's a single track up there, and they want to get in the lead and, try to motivate themselves to stay in the lead. Because that is a big motivation, like hearing footsteps behind you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You're like, move out of the way or keep ahead of them.
Exactly. And you're like,
I better go.
Dang it.
Which, to clarify, I don't know if we did earlier, like the elite heat is like the strongest competitors.
Right.
Like you were going there
to try to win. Yeah.
I mean, you've got like a little bit of a breakdown between elite and age group.
Right.
Like you're trying to beat other people in your age group, obviously, but elite, you are in it to win it.
Overall.
Men and women.
Right.
The best of the best. So you were out there.
Yeah.
Fighting, clawing and fighting. Meanwhile, I'm just like, I just want to survive.
I just want to finish.
I just want to live.
I want a trophy. Not even a medal. I want a medal.
You can even keep the medal if I can just have the banana.
Yeah.
I would like a banana, please.
So hungry right now.
Potassium.
But, so we started off, and everyone's sprinting. We go over hay bale, so that, stretches a little bit. And then everyone is sliding down a hill, like partially on their butts, like just kind of like clawing at one another to like try to get ahead. So like you're going down a mountain of clay that is mushy and slippery, and you can't keep your feet.
Because there was one point where, full disclosure, I went into this with a fresh ankle sprain. I sprained my ankle 3 weeks ago.
Fresh
So,
one.
yeah. I had it K-taped. I had it braced and everything. So I'm already being super cautious about this. So we're sliding. And I was like, well, maybe I can crouch and baby stomp my way down it. And I tried it for about 3 steps. Busted my ass. I've broken my tailbone twice in my lifetime. So I was like, okay, nope, that's not working. Yeah. We're going to slide. And I skied. Like, I set one leg and I put one heel out. and I just slid.
I've never tried that.
Well, I'm scared to break my tailbone
Yeah,
again.
that
So
makes sense.
this is what I had to do. I think it burned up my quads.
Mm.
And again, we'll get into this later when I
Later
started
on.
cramping, but I burned up my quads doing this.
Oh,
but
I did too.
it worked for my ankle. My ankles are fine. Still
Yeah.
functional.
Yes. So I don't like to admit any weakness because I like to think that I'm a superhero, which is why I always dress up as superheroes for every Halloween. But so my ankle has been giving me problems since Asheville. And so I was pretty nervous going into this course knowing that it was going to be a lot of up and down with a lot of one tracks and slippery stuff. It's pretty dangerous for an ankle. We have an Alex here as well in the background if you see us occasionally laughing. He also did the race. He's not allowed to be on this podcast.
Apparently he's not allowed to walk either. Maybe he should sit back down before you hurt yourself.
So, but yeah, so I was worried going into this as well. I had no problems with my ankle. I couldn't feel my feet. I couldn't feel my ankle. But there's no pain now, so I don't know.
It's cured.
Yeah, it got taken over by the later hip flexor pain. But anyways.
Speaking of hip flexors.
Yeah.
Does anybody still have good hip flexors after the race today? Oh,
no.
We got...
Definitely not.
Yeah, great.
But...
Okay, wait. I need a snack. Hey,
Yeah.
can I have a biscuit? Yeah.
So,
Here's my dietitian friend, and here's me with the biscuit.
no big deal.
As I'm talking about, like, oh, this low sugar wine, here's our bourbon. I'm like, and here is my cheap carbs.
You gotta replete that glycogen. Honestly, I don't think after this race, like, that's gonna do any harm to you.
I sure hope not.
Yeah.
No more harm than Tryon did to my body.
Fact.
I'm just trying to fix it. So anyway, all right. So the course.
Yeah.
Awful. You're
So-
racing. You're sliding. It's
Yes.
hurting.
So we're going down the hill, and then we hit some more, well, not flat, but up and down that was manageable, but it was still so mushy. Like, everyone was still sliding everywhere, and it was a gentle incline, a gentle decline, but super slippery. Anyways, and we hit several different obstacles, just some walls. We got an 8-foot wall, 7-foot wall. I'm trying to think of the other main obstacles. I know I passed a lot of girls at the obstacles this race, which is weird. I've been doing a lot more strength training, so I guess it's working. Yeah, because it used to be I would catch people on the run, and then they would pass me on the obstacles, and then I have to pass them back on the run.
I feel like this one was a weird one because
Yeah.
every time I've come across a rope climb too, it's been at the end.
Right.
And I don't know if they planned this because of the predicted forecast.
Yeah, the rope climb was early.
The rope climb was early, and that's my jam. So I managed to catch up to several people that I'd started with early on. That's when I was really feeling myself, which I realize now was foolish. But early on, I was feeling pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
As I fell off, everything metal. That was it.
Oh,
It was
yeah, that's
monkey
true.
bars.
All the rigs.
Yeah, monkey bars, twister, and beater
Right.
were all in the first 3 or 4 miles.
Yeah.
And those are all ones that I have passed or that I have completed in the past.
Yeah.
That because of literally the water. Done.
Yeah.
By the 2nd to 4th handhold, completely done.
So, water makes a huge difference on the rigs. So, as you'll know, grip strength is a huge factor. So, you can be strong enough, and if you don't specifically work grip strength, you will probably not make it through the rigs, any of the rigs. Not the rings.
Even on a dry day, they can be
Not
challenging.
the bars. Yeah.
But on a wet day,
It's just, yeah.
I don't know that I saw more than a handful of people complete them.
I saw a ton of the pros in the Elite Wave doing burpees on monkey bars. Yeah, which
would seem simple enough.
Right,
They're monkey bars.
Yeah.
No, they're slick.
Yeah. And they make them specifically hard to grip, so they make them a lot thicker than the ones that you're used to growing up.
Monkey bars are super wide.
Yeah.
And they're also relatively very far apart.
Yeah, they are.
Like, there's no, like, here to here. I'm not a tall girl, but I'm of average height.
Yeah.
And I use almost a whole arm span.
Right.
To reach from monkey bar to monkey bar.
Right, and it's not different for girls and guys there.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, anyways, so that really makes a huge difference. Make sure you work your grip strength. But as we're moving on, so it's super slippery. Eventually we get to some track that has more teeth to it, either grass or...
some gravel.
Yeah, some gravel.
They had a little bit of some horseback riding paths that were not paved, but gravel.
Yeah, you would know,
like hard
horseback.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like some hard packed gravel.
Right.
Which was way easier. It's not loose gravel, so you can definitely get a good run in on those areas.
Right. Think about the difference between. So it was worse than running in sand, but the difference between running in sand versus running on a gravel path. It's like that much extra work, or more.
I do agree with you there.
Yeah.
But with how muddy the course was today, those reprieves were a godsend. Anything that didn't have to put extra effort into my legs to keep stable, I was so grateful for.
Oh, me too.
When you got to somewhere where you knew wasn't going to shift, I was like, yes, 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 yes. My feet are staying.
This is amazing.
It's great.
Look how fast I am.
When you were a kid.
Yeah.
And you dug a little hole and you filled it with water. And it was like soupy water.
Right.
That was the entire course almost.
Yeah.
Where it was so thick you stepped in it and it splashed, but it also wasn't water. That's what you did the whole time. And it was terrifying. It was especially terrifying for me with a previously broken ankle and one that was sprained.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. Good analogy.
I've been on crush and grind all day long.
So, let's get to our demise. Let's just jump to there. So
that's a long jump. We didn't even talk about mile 10.
Oh, you want to talk about mile 10?
Mile 10.
Yes. Mile 10 is where many people died.
Thumbs down, 10 of 10.
Yeah.
Do not recommend.
Races were lost in mile 10.
Actually, one of my other technicians, who is military, like, she is an Army girl. She's been in for a few years, and she's not been in many Spartans, but she's obviously physically fit, washed out at mile 10.
Yeah.
Like a hill took her out. She just slipped.
Yeah.
She slipped and got an injury and had to get carried off by medical, and that's...
Yeah.
As somebody who's had to be taken off by medical, it's so disappointing, but there were treacherous conditions afoot.
Yeah, it was treacherous.
Treacherous.
So my hip flexors died at mile 10. I remember seeing the 11-mile marker, and
she blacked out. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it was increasing pain through my hip flexor, which is my lower abdomen, my quad, and also pieces of part of my gluteus medius and adductor even. So it's just that whole area on my left side just like quit. Like every step was painful. And I was keeping a really, really good clip at that point. I believe I was in 8th place, and I fell pretty far after that. I kind of told myself that I want to race in 2020, and I want to do well in 2020. And the last ultra marathon that I did, I injured a hip flexor, which felt just like this. And I did not run. I was on crutches for a while, and then I didn't run again for 6 months, and then I was like handicapped running for another year.
Because it takes you so long to build back up to where you were.
Yeah, it was a serious strain. And so my goal after that, honestly, was just avoiding it and finishing. Yeah, which was kind of disappointing. But I took the opportunity to get to know some of my racers that were also going my pace.
The wounded deer pace.
That's right. Yeah.
I say that with all the love in the world because I'm not making fun of you in any way.
No, it's fine.
Like, I know the limp.
Yeah, like I still jogged most, and then I would walk like any incline or anything that was muddy that was causing extra pain to my hip flexor. Do you know what I mean? Like going uphill where you have to lift your leg because that's what your hip flexor does, or like lifting it out of mud takes extra
which was
work.
the rest of the race.
Which was the rest of the race. Correct. Yes.
Downhill, sideways, straight, whatever. So 100% of the race was your hip flexor.
But the issue with that is like the cold front's coming in and you want to warm up. Like you actually want to run.
Yeah, because it was getting colder.
Yeah, it was
and colder
freezing.
and colder. The more energy I was losing,
right,
the more I needed to expend
and
to warm up. Which, another note, I'm a snacker. I'm an all-day snacker. I know I am. I know I need a ton of race fuel, and I had my bag. I had, which I have done, I did the West Virginia National Championship Beast.
Awesome.
So I had a basic idea. You know, I'm not like a seasoned Spartan necessarily, but I had a couple of Cliff Bars.
Yeah.
I had I had 3 energy gel packs. Like the fruit gummy energy packs. So 2 bars and 3 of those packs. And I tried to space them accordingly.
Right.
And I still ended up, I ran out. I got some from other kind racers with surplus, which, by the way, if you were one of those people that gave the girl with the panda bear face mask some race fuel, you saved my life. You really did.
And we are eternally grateful.
Eternally grateful, because I wouldn't have made it off that course without you people. But I already had to take, like, offerings from multiple people on the course.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Like, so much energy expended, so much cold. It was awful.
You know, also I want to talk about the box. The box was one of the new obstacles on the race course.
I hate the box. This is the 3rd time I've seen the box, and I hate it.
Really? I was super proud. I got it, and it was...
Oh, yay! Good job!
I was so happy.
Yes!
And so, I want to thank whoever it was that was, like, cheering for me, yelling tips at me, because that's the only reason I got it. They were like, lock your knees on the knot!
I was going to say, side note, how'd you do it with the short rope? Because the other 2 I've seen had long ropes.
Okay, no.
So this one was a short rope, by the way. For those of you who do know, the rope sometimes hangs all the way to the ground, and this time hung like 2.5 feet off the edge of the 8-foot box.
Right. So I grabbed the first knot and rolled it down while, like, using both arms, right, to try to lock my knees around, because there were 2 knots on it. Okay. 2 short knots. So I tried to lock my knees around this one enough, and then I pulled up again and tried to reach around, and I couldn't quite, but I reached my leg up a little bit, so I had 1 knot, and I reached my leg up a little bit, and then I could barely pull myself enough to reach the bar on the top.
So, technique note, were you able to get your elbows over the top of the box? Or did you get your knees on the knot first?
Knees on the knot first.
Okay.
Knees on the knot.
So, hand on top, hand on the rope.
Right.
Knees to the knot.
Knees to the knot.
And then the elbow.
Yes,
okay,
correct.
Got
and
it.
Then try to grab with knee, try to grab with arm.
Got it. Okay.
Anyways, I was like so excited. And I didn't want to do more burpees.
I'm tired of burpees.
So tired of burpees.
I made up all of my burpees, so I'm doing a challenge, a personal
challenge.
Personal burpee challenge.
If anyone wants to join her,
please do. There's still time. There's still December. 20 a day for the entire year of 2019.
Okay. I think that's solid.
Which I have not yet failed.
Wake up, do 20 burpees.
Also, I could probably skip the month of December now.
Oh, yes,
with how many I did today. So I'm good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You have, like, a large, large excess there.
I can take
a lot
a
of
couple
assets.
days.
Yeah.
Maybe just not do burpees tomorrow.
Yes. But what I was gonna say is, like, even within the elite heat, like, there were some of the girls that started with me that ended up having to walk some or jog as well. So it might have been due to, so I'm from Charleston. It is flat. I train on flat. And this is mountains. You're constant up and down. Like, there was a small flat segment, which, like, I was so pumped for, and then it was straight back to all this nonsense, that I'm not used to. It's not my habitat. And, yeah, so I'm assuming that probably some of the other girls who are from more flat coastal plains, it's really hard to train trails. Like, there's no up and down trails near where I live.
A Stairmaster in a gym can help, but it's not
right,
the
and it's not muddy.
No, and it's not muddy. You're not slipping everywhere and trying to balance yourself.
Right.
Like, this mud saps so much of your energy.
Yeah, that's why, who was the girl that was like, yo, I'm quitting my job and I'm doing Spartan full time?
It was Lindsay Dawn Webster, I do believe. Like, one of the Spartan Pro team. Love her, by the way. Lindsay, hi. But apparently which God love her for having that opportunity, but she was able to quit her job to focus specifically on Spartan racing.
Because honestly, the thing is, you have to. Like, I'm a fitness professional. I have time to work out 3 hours a day, okay? And I still had to jog walk. Like, and I do work out 3 hours a day. I take that opportunity. And I still had to jog walk, like, I'd average 8 miles a day. Flat, though, flat. And I
makes a difference.
Yes.
You should come to Central Florida in 2 weeks. Let's go.
Oh, God. Actually, maybe. I'll let you know.
Okay. We'll come back to that.
But, yeah, so, and I still have to jog walk at the end of this race. Like, I'm zapped, and that's crazy. I haven't felt hip flexor pain from any of the CrossFit workouts I've done in the past year and a half. Not from heavy squats, not from, like, Olympic lifting. So, no joke, Spartan race throws it down. And
you don't realize how much it takes out of you. Yeah. Honestly, when you're slipping around, you're like, oh, wait, I've got this.
Cool.
No big deal. And no shade at the sprint racers tomorrow.
No.
At all. But over maybe 3 to 5 miles.
Yeah. I felt good.
Still more manageable.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like I said, no shade thrown for sure,
10.
because that's still a brutal course. But like 3 to 5 miles slipping in the mud. Okay. Maybe keep going when you were going. Exactly. It was mile 10. Mile 10 killed everybody.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't care.
No, I didn't care anymore.
I don't care. I couldn't feel anything below my hips. I couldn't feel anything below my elbows. I couldn't feel anything above my neck.
Right.
My face, my ears, my eyes, my brain.
The vision was blurry.
Yeah, my vision was a little blurry. I wasn't thinking. I was just moving forward, I think. I have a medal, so I think I finished.
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, respect the beast, especially this one. If you want a challenge, train for it. Be prepared, but respect it. This
was a beautiful course, by the way. Mud and horrible weather aside, thank you so much to Tryon Equestrian Center for hosting this event, because Lake Lure out here, everything around it, beautiful, amazing. I'm so glad that I came up here for this race.
Yeah.
The weather was an unfortunate side effect, but
I mean, I feel like this is going to be one of the races that I will tell, like, friends about, 10 years from now, like, kids at family events. I'll be like, well, listen, back in my day.
I remember when I did the Spartan race.
Exactly.
In Tryon, North Carolina.
So surely you can, go be in your play and not have an anxiety attack.
I know you've got a lot going on in your life right now, and you're just so stressed, but have you ever thought you might die?
Yes, because that was what it
in
was
a
like
strange
today.
place.
You know what, though? Okay, so just to dive in real quick, I think that humans need this sort of thing. And that's why Spartan Race is blowing the heck up. Is like, humans, when they're not challenged, not physically challenged, not sort of brought out, like, that whole grit and that perspective of what is actually hard, like, your brain is constantly looking for threats and problems to solve and issues, and it's going to find them, whether it's just like, oh my God, what if I don't get my TPS report in on time? Like, do you want your brain to focus on that being the biggest problem in your life?
Or do you want to be able to rationalize it?
Exactly, and put it into real perspective. Be like, that's what I use a lot of this racing for. I realize I'm like, hey, like, I made it through this. Like, surely I'm strong enough to, you know, finish this on time.
Right. Surely I can get through this one day, this one
where I
small
didn't
thing.
sleep well.
Yeah. Okay, I'm kind of tired. My throat's a little scratchy.
Right. It's gonna be fine.
And I really feel like it helps my mindset in general. Like, I'm one of those people.
Yeah,
like, I want a
absolutely.
problem to solve, and if I have nothing going on, I'm going to be like, oh my God, this is like, oh, this is the worst. I'm never gonna. I'll be like, do you remember that one time?
Yeah.
When
A Triumph?
When you were so cold and so wet that you were begging for somebody
and your lips were
to
bright
kill you.
blue.
Yes. And people were like, are you okay? And you're like, no.
She actually did go to the medical tent. Full disclosure.
Yeah, I did. They handed me, so at the end of the race, you get like a Fit Aid, which is a delicious drink, by the way. But it's a canned beverage, and the poor girl who was handing them out, I couldn't open my hand at the end of the race.
Yeah.
And she opened the can for me and handed it to me, and I was shaking so badly, I probably spilled a third of it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even put it to my face, was how cold I was, and I couldn't, my hip flexor was done.
Yeah.
That was it. And because I was overcompensating, my left quad was also done. And then I was getting these Charlie horses on both sides. And I was literally peg legging with my right ankle.
Yeah.
All the way around, which seems like nothing until you're hurt. All the way around. I was like, gotta find my bag. Gotta get warm. And somebody was like, you have to go to medical. And then and I was like, no, I'm fine. They're like,
fine. They're like, no.
Are you okay? I'm good. My speech was slowing down.
Mine was too.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
In the car, both of us. I know I was really bad. You had a little while. I said a little while. You had like 4 hours.
Yeah. I had 4 hours to wait. So, like, I was on the fence about whether to be, like, honest with you guys or not. So you guys judge me if you want.
Judge if you want.
So, okay, there was nowhere to get warm after this race. There was nowhere, and I knew that I had to wait.
There were tents out of the rain, but there was nowhere to warm up.
No. There was nowhere in clothes. So anyways, I bought out the merch.
The entire merchandise tent.
The entire merchandise tent. Thank y'all. Y'all gave me extra discounts. I love y'all.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And yeah, then I actually went and cleaned out a flat section of the porta potty and just fucking sat there and covered myself in my jacket because there was nowhere else to go, and they kicked me out of the merch tent.
You're blocking the way.
Because they said it wasn't going to buy shoes.
I'd be like,
but I was like,
bought so much stuff here.
Yeah, like, and so I listened to podcasts because I like podcasts. I like making them. Ben Greenfield, shout out, what's up? I listened to like 4 of your podcasts today. Anyways, and just tried to, like, you know, think about my life and my decisions while I was sitting there. God. Anyways. So,
I think I said on the course at one time, and some girl laughed at me who overheard, but I was just speaking out loud, talking to myself, and I was like, I don't know that I've ever hated myself more.
Yeah.
Sarah was not with me, obviously. She was kicking ass. She was actually probably already done by the time I was saying this, but I was like, Sarah, I'm so sorry. I got us into this. I'm sorry. I said we should do try-on in November.
This was a horrible mistake.
This was bad. I remember this one time in college.
Yeah.
Granted, I went to college at Auburn.
Yeah.
So still a little further south.
For sure.
I was at the pool over Thanksgiving break. And I know this is not the norm, but that's what my brain goes to when I think of November. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, this one time I was at the pool, and it was fine because I was obviously in a bikini.
Yeah.
This was not bikini weather.
No, it was not.
My
Zero
plan,
parts.
when I started this race, I was trying to play it smart.
Yeah.
And I said, well, when I get to the dunk wall, I know I'm probably going to be wet anyway, but when I get to the dunk wall, I'm going to strip down to my absolute base layer. So sports bra and leggings.
Oh, I remember you saying that.
I'm going to dunk, and then I'm going to grab my clothes because I was open, so I could set things to the side, which elite and age group cannot.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to dunk, and then I'm going to grab my other stuff and put it back on, so maybe it'll bring a little bit of warmth back to me. By the time I got to the dunk wall, I was in so much I don't care. This girl next to me started to let out a string of expletives. And unlike my usual self, I couldn't even stop and think. I was like, you have to go, you have to go. And my feet never stopped. I just kept going, and I just dunked. And I came out the other side. The photographer caught a picture of me, I'm sure.
We will get the pictures when we get them back.
I didn't even care because as soon as I hit the water, everything left me.
Yeah.
I don't know how I finished the race from there because that was the end for me. That was the end of anything that might have been okay. It took every inch of myself, every bit of my heat, every bit of my energy, and from there on out, it went really badly for me. I almost had a panic attack on a hill right after that because all of the muscle groups in my legs were starting to cramp up so badly I couldn't straighten my legs. Got on just the other side of the tape.
Right.
And I was punching my knees out to straighten my legs because they were cramping up so badly just trying to slide down a hill. I wasn't even putting in a lot of work for it. That's how cold and how bad it was. And this was probably mile 11 or 12. And I couldn't straighten my legs, and I started to have a panic attack because I didn't know how I was going to get my legs to work just enough to get to the bottom. And that was that moment I was talking about earlier where I was like, if medical's at the bottom of this hill, I will take DNF right now. Right now, I have to stop. I can't do this. And I don't tell myself I can't do this.
Right.
Because I feel like words have power.
They do. You
can talk yourself into anything, I believe. And I think at that point, my body said, you can't. you physically cannot.
Yeah. I will say I do know cold training, and my physiology is not prepared.
No.
I'm sure that it is different. People that come from up north or that train and are used to. And I actually even know some like serious biohackers and racers do like
biohackers,
cold dunks.
Okay, I'm just gonna say that was like a weird comparison.
Biohackers and racers.
And I'm sure they're synonymous in some way.
It is.
I like how she just threw those in there together.
Because it's
like biohackers and racers.
Racers are all like the elite racers are always trying to get the edge. Like they're putting the training in, they're eating right, they're covering all the bases. So it's how do you get the edge? Like, you know, is it some sort of like a stem cell treatment? Is it some sort of an IV therapy? Is it, you know, cold dunking? Is it cryo? Is it hot cold treatment after, you know, try to recover quicker so they can train harder the next day? So it's biohacking at that point.
That's true.
It's like how to recover better, really. It's the name of the game.
The most extreme biohacking I do is washing my hands in cold water at work. Okay, I'm done. Done. Clean.
We did it.
Clean. Ready for surgery. Great.
But okay, so end note. I want y'all all to be Spartans. Full disclosure, I have a bias. I want you to be a Spartan, and I want you to come over to the Spartan side.
If you want to race with us, we're ready.
Yeah.
Come on. Let us know. DM us.
Tell them about the community, because I think that is like the most special thing that really like brings people in.
The community is incredible.
Yeah.
There was, like I said, like I touched on earlier, when I was locking up and starting to panic and having a hard time. There was not a single racer that walked by me that didn't offer a hand, that didn't offer race fuel, that didn't at least ask me, hey, you good? You good? You okay? Like, if I've never worried that if something happened to me on the course, somebody wouldn't extend a hand at the very least. And not even on the course. I was saying that I'm a member of some of the Spartan forums on Facebook and things like that. The Spartan women Facebook group of like all things, I've never seen a naysayer in there. These women are incredibly uplifting.
Yeah.
They're incredibly encouraging. It doesn't matter what you're going through, what you mention, what you want to bring up. These women are there with helpful advice, with strong words.
Yeah.
They've got your back.
Even all of the elite racers, like, I don't see any conceitedness, snobbishness, like, from any of them. I was particularly impressed. I like Heather a lot. I think she's really sweet. Yeah.
I'm like really jealous of this, by the way.
She's
like,
great. No,
she's just so great. I'm like, I wouldn't know. I just follow her on Instagram.
But she takes the time to talk to people that come up to her and ask her.
That.
Yeah. Anyway, so I hope that this sport stays that way, because I know it's a big draw for as people make more and more money and it's more prestigious and there's more money in it, you know, like a lot of the pro sports go, why people used to watch college sports, even though they're now going to start getting paid anyways, over pro sports, because they did it. Yeah, they did it for the love of the sport, because they wanted to be there. Like,
and I hope it keeps its community at the very least.
I agree, yeah.
Like, because nobody asks you if you paid full price or if you volunteered to go, or we all want to know where you traveled from, but nobody's asking. It's not about money.
Right.
It's not about your status.
Prestige, or how many followers you have.
Right, it's about showing up and completing something incredibly hard. Even on we're talking about how awful today was.
Yeah.
Even on a good day, you don't walk through these.
No.
Like, these are not a walk in the park.
Absolutely not.
Even for seasoned athletes. They make it look easy, but this is...
You'll ask yourself at least once, like, you know, why did I sign up for this? And then you'll get it back together. Like, get your mojo back. But,
and then I said earlier today, I was telling Alex, I was like, you know, there's a point in all of these long distance races where it stops being kind of fun for a minute.
Yep.
And then just becomes a force of will. You're like, I'm gonna do this.
But if you don't hit that point, I feel like you don't gain that extra confidence. That extra...
It doesn't mean as much.
It doesn't mean as much.
Because I finished this today and I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was good. It's done.
Exactly.
But yeah.
So yeah, it's
all in all, good day.
All in all, it's a good day. Anyways, so we're gonna post that fun picture meme that Jessica hinted about, as well as I'm gonna link to where you can find her on her social media accounts. If you want to follow her
on Instagram, please. We'll have a fun time.
It'll be great.
It'll be a great adventure.
So, anyways, hope that y'all enjoyed this and learned something. And if you do want to do your first Spartan race, please reach out and let me know. And let me know which race you're going to do. And if it's warm enough, me and Jessica will try to show up and say what's up, cheer you on, give you high fives.
Let's just say
selfies.
If you don't do Central Florida in 2 weeks, which I'm definitely going to be at, I am also ready for Jacksonville in February.
Yeah.
I can definitely do...
Jacksonville will be warm.
Yeah, I can definitely do February races in Florida. But, so, you've got 2 races over the next 3 months. So, short distance, let's start there. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is us signing out. Thanks so much for coming on. Peace out.